everyone, welcome to another Fight of the Night review. This is for the Fight of the Night that took place last night, obviously, at the UFC Apex Center, and it was the co-main event of the main event between Pereira and Holly Holm, but as I said, it was the co-main event, which was Michel Pereira versus Santiago Ponzinibbio, so it's up to me to break it down round by round, tell you what I thought about the fight, and we will conclude and move on from there. I think that sounds pretty good. So the fight starts, and both men are sort of filling each other out. They're not throwing a lot. I think Santiago lands the most significant strike within the first 30 seconds with a good leg kick. And then during an exchange, Santiago accidentally pokes Michel in the eye. They do take a little bit of a break, and Michel takes about 30-40 seconds to recover from it, but he's completely fine after that. And there's no hard feelings, so he greets Santiago with a fist bump. He's just like, yeah, it's okay, we're good. And then immediately starts swinging, basically. He goes for a good left hook to the body, right overhand combo that really clips Santiago, and for the most part Michel is actually in control of round one. He's landing at that really good combo that I just mentioned as well, left to the body, right overhand. And he's throwing some really good body kicks as well. There's a great moment where he lands like two front kicks, one with the right foot, then one with the left. He's landing some really good body shots too. But it's not like Santiago is completely on the back foot. He's countering quite well when he can. He's looking for his left but not able to land it fully. He's throwing some really good shots to the body, and he's throwing amazing leg kicks. Like, that's his best weapon in round one. But for the most part, Michel, like, he's a bit more patient, he's a bit more in control, which is not something I'm really used to seeing from the man. But he does counter a good combo attempt from Santiago into a good combo of his own, and sort of has a clinch and pushes Santiago against the cage. But besides that, there's not really any other main wrestling in this fight. Well, there's a moment I just remembered that we'll get into when we cover round two. After that, Pereira has some really good combos, and he lands them quite well on Santiago, but Santiago is again slipping. He's using his head movement quite well. He even lands a really good combo against Michel near the end of round one, which Michel blocks quite nicely. And yeah, round one, quite difficult to call, but I am giving it slightly in favour to Michel Pereira. I thought his striking was a bit more on point, his combos were a little bit better. I did like that he had a bit of control with the attempted clinch that he had over Santiago. It's not like Santiago was completely hopeless either. He was on the back foot for a fair bit, but he was also throwing a lot more, but he wasn't landing as accurately, and his striking was just quite good. Not as good as Michel's was though, and I think round one goes to Pereira. We then get to round two, and for the first 3 minutes, Michel Pereira is almost completely in control. He's countering a lot of Santiago's shots. He's landing that left hook right overhand combo, which I think stunned Santiago briefly. He's landing some really good body kicks on him against the cage as well, throwing some really good uppercuts, really good counters, really watching for Santiago, utilising his jab quite well, utilising the kicks quite well. Santiago's throwing a couple of leg kicks here and there, but he's quite hesitant to actually fully move in. And yeah, the first 3 minutes, which is a good chunk of round two, do definitely go to Michel for me, but then Santiago lands a hell of a left hand, which he's been searching for this entire round, pretty much the entire fight to this point. Wasn't able to get it initially, but landed one on Michel and rocked him really hard, and started following up and started throwing some more strikes, landed some good shots to the body. He even opened a little cut on Michel's eye just above the right eyebrow. Not a massive one, like there's not even a lot of blood, but it's a tiny bit, because it's very, very small cuts. Anyway, yeah, Santiago has really good control of the last couple of minutes of round two. He even gets a good takedown after faking a really good shot, and nothing really follows up after the takedown. It's not really a ground exchange that lasts long. Michel gets up pretty quickly after that, but Santiago keeps him against the cage, keeps doing some good strikes, and round two is also quite difficult to call because it's a very, very close fight. Well, I do think Santiago got some good control with his takedown, and he was starting to land the heavy shots near the end of round two. I think Michel had too much control in the early goings of round two, so I will give it to him. However, it is starting to become a closer and more exciting fight by this point, so I'm all for it. We then get to the third and final round, and both men a bit exhausted, bit busted up, Michel more so because he got the cut above his right eye, and even despite that, Michel actually finds his footing quite early. He opens with a really strong looking head kick and lands a really good punch as well, which does stun Santiago. And yeah, Santiago against the cage started landing some really good body kicks to him, lands a good couple of punches, but Santiago manages to use his footwork and movement, manages to get out of the way, and it was a really good opening minute for Michel Pereira. And despite the fact that Michel was actually on the back foot for the end of round two, I am quite surprised that he managed to pick it up quite early in round one, like literally within, in round three, literally within the opening minute. Besides that, both men have really good composure going throughout the last 4 minutes of the fight. Santiago, not as hesitant to engage as you would think. He's landing some really good leg kicks, throwing them up to the body as well. Landing some really good counter punches. He's finding his left hand again. He lands it 3 times in a row at the halfway point of round 3. It's actually kind of sick, and it looks really good. Looks like something you'd see in one of the UFC games, honestly. It was kind of dope. Michel is using his movement quite well too. He's landing some really good counters. I think he lands a good right at some point in round 3. For the most part in round 3, I don't remember specific things though, but I do remember there was a lot of really great exchanges between the two, that both of them like swung for each other, and both were just having the time of their lives. Like, they opened round 3 with a good respectful fist bump because they were like, yeah, we're both knackered, but we're putting on a hell of a fight. But I think round 3, even though Santiago did have his best showing in round 3, I think round 3 might also go to Michel Pereira. He was landing a little bit better. The opening minute for him was really good. He's throwing a bit less well than he was in the first 2 rounds, but he still lands quite well on Santiago. Santiago's not completely hopeless either, obviously. He's landing some really good combos as well. Again, the leg kick is there for him. That left hand combo is there for him. And I'm still not for the fact that he landed it like 3 times in a row. It was such a cool moment. It was a really cool fight. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about round 3. I do apologise for that. So we're just going to move on to the conclusion. I hope that's okay with you. But yeah, round 3 also goes to Michel Pereira. And all in all, this fight was actually quite good. I liked it as much as last week's fight of the night, and I don't know if I like this better or worse. I like it probably the same amount, actually, because again, it was at the UFC Apex Center, so there wasn't really a crowd to get fully hyped behind it, but it was a very fun fight, and I do think the quietness sort of helped it, you know, because you could appreciate these smaller moments a little bit more. Both men move like lightning, which isn't a surprise considering the division they're in, which is welterweights, just to round that out for you, and both men just had a hell of a time putting on a really, really good fight. No complaints about the winner either. Michel Pereira taking the split decision win. Fine with that. I think it would have worked well if it were a close unanimous decision as well, but Santiago did a hell of a lot of work too, and both men obviously just had a ton of fun, and this was a very fun fight, so I recommend you seek this out for yourself. It's absolutely worth it. And that will about do it for this review. Next thing you'll see me for, tonight I'm looking to stream more Sunset Overdrive so I can get more stuff recorded. However, I haven't gotten into too much editing still. I really need to work on that. But that's for then, and as for what else is next from me, tomorrow, more Ultimate Fighter. In fact, from Monday through to Wednesday, I'll be reviewing the Ultimate Fighter episodes I've missed, and then Thursday, Music of the Week, and then Friday night, more Sunset Overdrive. Yeah, I'll see you all for that, but yeah, I'll see you mostly all for tonight. As always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye-bye.